the Aramaic Bible in English, Genesis chapter 39. And Joseph was brought down to Egypt, and Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh, commander of the guard, an Egyptian, bought him from the Arabians who had brought him down there. And the Lord was with Joseph. He became a prosperous man in the house of his master, the Egyptian, and his master saw that the Lord was with him, and that the Lord made all that he did to prosper under his hands. And Joseph found favor in his sight and served him, and he made him steward of his house and all that he had put in his charge. And it came to pass, from the time that he had made him steward of his house and over all that he had, that the Lord blessed the Egyptian's house for Joseph's sake. And the blessing of the Lord was upon all that he had, both in the house and in the field. And he left all that he had in Joseph's charge, and he did not know what he had except the food that he ate. And Joseph was very handsome and pleasant to look at. And it came to pass, after these things, that his master's wife cast her eyes upon Joseph, and she said to him, "Lie with me." But he refused and said to his master's wife, "Behold, my master does not know what he has in the house, and he has put everything that he has in my charge. There is no one greater in this house than I, neither has he kept back anything from me except yourself, because you are his wife. How then can I do this great wickedness and sin against God?" And it came to pass, as she spoke to him daily, he did not listen to her, to lie with her, or to be with her. And it came to pass one day that Joseph went into the house to do his work, and none of the men of the household were there in the house. And she caught him by his garment and said to him, "Lie with me." But he left the garment in her hands and fled and got out to the street. And it came to pass, when she saw that he had left his garment in her hands and had fled out to the street, she called to the men of her household and said to them, "See, he has brought in a Hebrew servant to us to disgrace us. He came in to me to lie with me, and I cried out with a loud voice. And when he heard that I lifted up my voice and cried aloud, he left his garment in my hands and fled and got out to the street." And she laid up his garment by her until his master came home. And she spoke to him according to these words, saying, "The Hebrew servant whom you brought to us came in to disgrace me. But as I lifted up my voice and cried aloud, he left his garment in my hands and fled and got out to the street." And when the master heard the words of his wife, he spoke to him, saying, "After this manner did your servant to me." His wrath was kindled. And Joseph's master took him and put him into the prison, a place where the king's prisoners were confined, and he remained there in the prison. But the Lord was with Joseph and showed him mercy and gave him favor in the sight of the keeper of the prison. And the keeper of the prison entrusted to Joseph's care all the prisoners who were in the prison, and he was in charge of whatever they did there. The keeper of the prison did not look to anything that was in Joseph's charge, because the Lord was with him, and whatever he did, the Lord made it to prosper.